A lot of people know Laura Ingraham as one of the most vocal Fox News hosts, sharp, sure of themselves, and rarely giving up. Behind the scenes, though, her life has changed in ways that many fans did not expect. The story behind the persona is a lot more complicated than it seems. There have been major health problems, family problems, and backlash from the public. So, what did Laura Ingraham really do? There are many things that make Laura Ingraham, the longtime right commentator and host of the Ingraham Angle on Fox News, stand out. But what you might not know is that she had to deal with a shocking news years ago. In April, when she was 41 years old, she was told she had early-stage invasive ductal carcinoma, a common but very aggressive type of breast cancer. The lump in her breast was found during a regular physical exam. Laura now calls herself a breast cancer Thor instead of a survivor, because she says she lived her life to the best while she was sick, instead of just surviving. She looks back on it as a journey that made her life clearer. She was going through a rough time when she was told she had cancer, because Laura's mother had died of lung cancer a few years before. Hearing that she was sick was hard for her. Even though she was shocked, she was motivated to get better. She had 2 surgeries very quickly, and then chemotherapy and radiation for 6 weeks. In October 2005, she finished her last round of radiation. By the following year, she was back at work, and in early 2006, she even did live news from Baghdad while her hair was still growing back. Laura has said that she doesn't like to think about her cancer because she doesn't want it to define who she is, or make her less good at her jobs as a mother and a radio host. She said that a lot of survivors just want to get on with their lives and get back to their normal routines and relationships without being judged because of their illness. She says that being told she had cancer is the past, and that she doesn't want to be picked on or get bad looks because she had it. Faith, family, and help from the community helped Laura get better. She said that her strong religious faith, the prayers and messages from friends all over the country, and the unity of her close group of friends helped her get through treatment. She dealt with her cancer news, but it wasn't easy, especially since her mother had died of the same disease a few years before. There have been times when Laura Ingraham has talked about her mother's death, which she has called one of the hardest things she has ever been through. Anne Caroline Ingraham, Laura's mother, died of lung cancer in 1999, 6 years before Laura was diagnosed with breast cancer. Laura was just starting to build her business and figure out who she was when her mother died. She said that the death of her mother changed how she thought about strength, family, and faith in ways that still affect her today. Laura once said that it was much harder for her to deal with her own cancer than to watch her mother fight a disease that would kill her. Later, she told everyone that losing her mother taught her very important lessons about how fragile life is and how important it is to enjoy loved ones while they are still alive. Laura is also glad that her mother died many years before she had her own health scare. That way, her mother didn't have to worry about seeing her daughter go through a major illness. This thought means something to her and makes her feel sad. A lot of what she does is influenced by her mother. Laura often talks about the principles her mother taught her, like being honest, music cheap, hardworking, and having a good sense of humor. Not only did these lessons change who she is, but they also changed how she raised her own children, she says. In interviews, she talked about how much she missed her mother's laughter and sensible advice. She talked about how little things, like her mother's funny greeting cards, brought her comfort and joy even after she died. Laura has also talked about how the death of her mother changed the way she thinks about time and what's important. Because she has lost someone close to her and is having health problems, she says she tries not to let small things take over her life, and instead treasures special times with her family. Friends and audiences often hear her say that people who still have their moms close by are very lucky. She was close to her mother, but Laura's brother and his girlfriend are in the middle of a public incident that makes it hard for them to be close. How did Laura Ingraham and her brother from Fox News really get away? Aside from being told she has cancer that will kill her, and being involved in a political scandal, Laura has also been in a public fight with her brother Curtis Ingraham, which they keep doing on social media and in interviews. Instead of being a family problem, it has turned into a major scandal. The main reason they are fighting is that they have very different ideas. Curtis, an out gay teacher in California, has always criticized Laura's conservative speech and writing, saying that she stirs up conflict and is not honest. He called his sister a monster in an interview in 2018 because she was destructive when it came to public problems and would rather destroy than listen. He also said that they came from a bad home because their father was violent and supported extremist ideas. He says that the way she was raised may have affected the anger she shows now. Curtis has said over and over on Twitter that he's like a brother fact-checker. He always says mean things about Laura's posts and tells companies to stop sponsoring her show. His tweets always ask her to respond to sensitive issues like people who support gun control, immigration policies, and public health figures. He also said she was weak for criticizing how Dr. Anthony Fauci was handling news of COVID-19. It's strange, but their friendship wasn't always so bad. Laura Ingraham wrote in a 1997 article for The Washington Post that she had changed her mind about homosexuality after seeing how her brother Curtis and his partner dealt with the truth about her partner's AIDS with honor, loyalty, and bravery. But Curtis later said that as her time at Fox News went on, she became more conservative and stopped supporting all those weak points. This made him think that everything she had said before was a lie. He has even said that her show makes people disagree, calling her racist and a Nazi supporter. He says she cares more about her paycheck than the world's well-being. Laura has been calm in public when talking about what her brother said. After some of his most cruel comments, she put out a statement saying she felt bad that her brother would post hurtful and false things online. Laura said that her other brothers were also shocked by what Curtis said. But Curtis isn't the only one who thinks Laura Ingraham is guilty. Many people on social media have been saying bad things about her and blaming her after she said some shocking things. Laura Ingraham, who had been hosting the Ingraham Angle on Fox News for a long time, got a lot of backlash in 2025 after saying that younger Americans, especially Gen Z, weren't focusing on getting married and having kids. During the show, Laura talked about the results of a recent study from NBC News that showed differences in how younger people rank their life goals. She focused on how marriage and raising children are ranked low among those goals. Priorities. She said that this was different from the rankings for young conservative guys and asked why marriage and kids didn't seem to be as important to Gen Z's overall idea of success. Laura's comments were part of a bigger conversation about changes in American culture and population, such as shifting ideas about family structures and birth rates. She also said she was worried that the falling rates of marriage and birth could have effects on society as a whole. But some viewers and commenters have pointed out a major problem with her criticism. It is funny that Laura says this since she has never been married. She is a single mother of 3 kids who she adopted when she was 40 years old. She is now 62 years old. Without getting married, she raised her family on her own. It's been said that she's not being honest and that her own life path, which included a successful job and then adoption, is similar to that of many Gen Z people today. So her comments were met with criticism right away. That being said, Laura's decision not to get married and instead adopt 3 poor children got a lot of attention before this scandal. Being a single mom is very different from the standard family structure Laura promotes on her Fox News show, but it's also one of the most important parts of her own story. Laura has never been married, which she said in public. She has always kept her personal relationships private. She has built a family through foreign adoption, though, by bringing 3 kids into her home and raising them mostly out of the public eye. Laura got her first child, a girl named Maria Caroline from Guatemala, in 2008. Maria was about 3 years old at the time. After that, she adopted 2 boys from Russia. Michael Dmitry was born in 2009, and Nikolai Peter was born in 2011. Both were about 1 year old at the time. When Laura got these adoptions, she was already well known in the media that she worked in. She was more dedicated to being a mother than making a public message. Laura has talked about adoption as a calling that comes from caring and being responsible. She said that the well-being of the children should come before political concerns when it comes to adoption. According to reports, adoption should be centered around the children and not be seen as a means to an end. No matter if she was married or not, she chose to adopt because she wanted to be a mother and give children who needed a safe home one. It hasn't been easy for Laura Ingraham to balance her famous job with being a single parent, but she says that taking care of her 3 kids is both her biggest task and her biggest joy. She has said that it makes her proud to see her kids grow and reach new goals, from school milestones to bigger goals. Laura has kept her boys Michael and Nikolai out of the public eye because she wants to protect their privacy, even though she does talk about her family life from time to time. Her daughter Maria is now a young adult. Laura's path from being a single mom to adopting a child has been both rewarding and difficult. It has changed her family life and how she thinks about adoption and family. She had to figure out complicated international processes while some countries, especially Russia, were making it harder to adopt children from other countries. So her last two adoptions were the hardest and most mentally draining. Laura has said that she knew going into the adoption process that it would be hard. A lot of countries don't let single parents adopt. Birth moms often want to live with two parents, and the paperwork process might be too scary for them. She has been honest about the problems, saying that the process had too many ups and downs for her to remember them all. She has also said that the safety of the children should come before any political or ideological goals. Laura also said that it was hard to balance being a parent with her busy job as a media personality once she had her kids. She has said that being a single mom was the hardest thing she has ever had to do. She had to be there for family life, chores and bedtime routines even though she was financially stable. As a parent, Laura has used a mix of punishment, presence and purposeful bonding with her kids. She keeps her kids out of the spotlight a lot of the time, and makes it a habit for each of them to share something good from their day every night to keep them mentally strong. It's important to her though, and she won't let her kids have computers before they start high school. She has pushed for flip phones to be used to talk to kids for safety in situations, and then smartphones will be given to them later. Laura also keeps an eye on rules about how to use smartphones. Laura Ingraham has been on a few dates in the past, but she has never been married and has adopted 3 children. For years, Laura Ingraham has been very conservative. She has kept a lot of her personal life secret and has never said in public that she is married or in a long-term relationship. One of her first known relationships happened when she was in college at Dartmouth College with Desh D'Souza, who is also a right commentator. According to reports, they were dating seriously and even engaged at one point in the early 1980s. They became close over politics and shared goals, but they broke up before getting married. They stayed friends over the next few decades, and in 2014, Laura wrote a letter to support D'Souza in court. In the late 1990s, Laura was romantically linked to liberal commentator Keith Olbermann. Their very different political views made them an odd couple, but they were only together for a short time and neither of them officially admitted to it. At about the same time, rumors spread that she was seeing former Democratic Senator Robert Torricelli. Lisa became engaged to James Vive Reyes, a businessman she met on a blind date, in 2005. This was the most famous part of her dating life. They were going to get married in the spring of that year, but Laura was told she had breast cancer, which changed everything. The engagement was called off while she worked on getting better and going to treatment. Since then, she has chosen to focus on getting better instead of getting married. Laura didn't look for a husband again after she got better. She instead thought about adoption and being a mother. Taking in 3 kids from Guatemala and Russia as her own. Taking care of her 3 kids by herself became the most important thing in her daily life. She has also said that her family and job make her happy, so she doesn't feel the need to get married. As a media personality, she also has a busy routine with radio, writing, public appearances, and nightly TV duties. Because of this, she has less time for long-term partnerships and is more independent. Not only has Laura's personal life been scandalous, but so has her career. This is especially true since she supported the highly criticized Great Replacement theory. A lot of people are interested in Laura Ingraham's music comments on changes in the US population. This is because it sounds a lot like the Great Replacement theory, which is a far-right conspiracy theory based on white nationalist ideas. The controversial and debunked Great Replacement theory says that non-white immigrants are being brought into Western countries on purpose to replace white people through immigration policies, demographic trends, and the plans of the elite. Laura has said on her Fox News show that big changes in American demographics are happening without their permission. She says this is because of immigration and political tactics. She once said that many parts of the country don't feel like the America we know and love. She said that these changes are caused by both legal and illegal immigration, and she says that the public didn't choose or like these changes. Some people think this is more like the way white nationalists think. A lot of people and watchdog groups have said bad things about her words and how she framed things. And these aren't just facts about the population, they're political speech, music like The Great Replacement Story. She says a lot of the time that immigration is like an invasion and that people who are against politics are changing voters with immigrants, or people who have just become citizens. A lot of bad attention has been paid to these. At the same time, some advertisers have stopped working with Laura because of what she has said. Laura Ingraham had one of the worst advertising boycotts of her career in 2018 after making fun of David Hogg, a Parkland shooting survivor and gun control activist, on Twitter. Many people thought that Ingraham's tweet about Hogg's college rejection letters, in which he complains about being turned down by several schools, was directed at a teenager who was still upset about the deaths of peers in the massacre. In response, Hogg told his fans to call companies that had ads about Ingraham and asked them to stop supporting him. A lot of big sponsors told her within days that they would no longer buy ad time on her show. Because of the backlash and the loss of sponsors, Laura apologized in public. But Hogg said she did it because she lost sponsors and not because she really felt bad about what she did. At the height of the boycott, about 27 companies cut ties with the show, and advertising rates dropped by a large amount. It came up again in 2019 when Laura caused more criticism and a new wave of sponsors left. It was a graphic of controversial figures shown on her show. It showed well-known speakers being blocked on social media, such as Paul Nehlen, who is known to be a white supremacist and anti-Semite. Many viewers and watchdogs didn't like it because they thought it seemed to defend or legalize an extremist, and one sponsor stopped supporting her show. Fox News defended the episode and Ingraham by saying that the graphic was meant to show that people were worried about censorship, not that extreme views were cool. But Laura had a different problem when she said something about a famous athlete that made fans and watchers dislike her. In February 2018, Laura Ingraham got a lot of bad press when she told NBA star LeBron James to shut up and dribble after he and partner Kevin Durant talked about U.S. politics and music in public and criticized President Donald Trump at the time. On her Fox News show The Ingraham Angle, she said that professional athletes who make a lot of money from sports should stay focused on basketball and not talk about politics. She said things like, "Must they run their mouths like that? Shut up and dribble." Many people saw these comments as snubbing the voices of athletes in public, especially since James and Durant are well known for talking about racial and social justice issues. There was quick and widespread reaction. LeBron James replied in public that he would not limit his speech to sports. "I will not just shut up and dribble, I mean too much to society. I mean too much to the youth." The episode went viral on social media with the hashtag #WeWillNotShutUpAndDribble, which was used to show that athletes can also be involved in politics. Many people, including other NBA players, agreed with those who said Laura's comment was racist, and a form of dog whistle remark that black athletes should stay in their own lane and not talk about national issues. Do you know what really happened with Fox News' popular commentator Laura Ingraham? Which part of Laura's life shocked you the most? From being told she had cancer to picking out children to adopt? Type your ideas in the box below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.